Herkesiti Aksamla. Welcome back to Tom Plays EU4 for absolute beginners. We're back with the Ottomans, and I'm hoping we're going to have a somewhat more diplomatic session than usual, but we'll see. We've got claim from Hungary. Right, where are we up to? So, Cyprus. Cyprus is our ally, and we are working, I believe, giving them subsidies. We're working to get to the point of being able to annex them, to vassalise them. So they're willing to be vassalised. So if you remember, we need to get their opinion of us up to 190. Maximum improved relations, aggressive expansion's going down. Receiving subsidies, haven't had that much benefit from that yet. So we're on schedule, but we're not there yet. Okay, these guys, Hiss and Kaifa, they are sunny like we are. I will be extremely surprised if we can't vassalise these guys. So I'm going to start sacrificing diplomatic points, and we're going to offer them an alliance. Improves their opinion of us by 50, but we now have a warning that we have too many diplomatic relations, and we're going to start getting less diplomatic power, which I'm not too worried about. So we're going to start improving their opinion of us. Is there anybody else? Imereti. Different religion. We've improved our relations with them a fair bit, and we're suffering from aggressive expansion. Could be a problem. They want some of our provinces as well. Quite a few of our provinces. I suppose the other option would be to just attack them. That would certainly be easier. They appear to have no allies, and the only thing we're lacking is a valid reason. Okay, that might be a better option than attacking Circassia, to be honest. It's unfortunate that our only access is going to be by sea, but I think we're kind of stuck with that now. Theodoro. We were fighting them in a war. Ooh! Allows the Patriarchate. That apparently has scored us some points. However, we've got a ton of aggressive expansion, which we're about to make worse. Different religion. Not entirely sure we're going to be able to vassalise them just yet. And the people we're currently working on. Ooh, let's start improving relations. Well, that does mean we now have no diplomats available, which is awkward. The two nations we're currently working on, if we annex Ramazan, that will actually, I think, max out our diplomatic relations again. We're allowed to have... Where are we? Sorry. Right click on ourselves. We're allowed to have full diplomatic relations at the moment, without any penalties. We need Bohemia and Karakoyunlu in case someone attacks us. Yeah, so that would fill us up in terms of vassalisation. At the same time, there are a bunch of other people who will be willing to be vassalised. But that's not so bad. So okay, if we actually attack Imereti instead. So we're presumably... Yes, we're going to need a spy network of 20 to do that. So let's speed things up a little. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I see, yeah. So we're not actually using a diplomat in Cyprus, are we? So we want to... What do we want to do? Let's do a royal marriage. Advantage of them being sunnies. And we finished coring mush, which is good. Okay, brilliant. Alright, it's part of Kurdistan. Okay, looks good. Looks good. I suppose in theory we could have attacked these guys, to be fair, but here they are, sunnies. So our next move here would probably will offer military access. That makes sense. That'll push it up by another 10. Do we need 2? We haven't even proclaimed the guarantee yet, have we? That's something. And we can do a lot of improved relations. We may actually not need to subsidise them. Let's find out. Enjoining right and forbidding wrong. I see. Okay, charismatic mosque preachers in Constantia have been calling for an end of unorthodox religious practices and inciting the populace against the Sufis, leading to violence and street battle. Now that's interesting because they're attacking the Sufis, but if we support them, even though theoretically these are orthodox Muslims, we're actually moving towards mysticism. But in any case, I don't particularly want them to be attacking anyone, thanks. Let's have order. So it actually works out well that moves us towards legalism. Not sure where we actually are. Oh, we're not doing badly. We are very close to the legalist side of the scale, which is giving us some bonuses. Excellent. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Right, so I can proclaim a guarantee. I just hope they're not going to try and take advantage. You do occasionally get these small nations where when you're allied with them, they attack a much larger nation, trying to get some of what they consider their land back. And yeah, to be honest, if I'm allied with them primarily to vassalise them, I usually drop them like a stone at that point. I'm not being dragged into a fight against Karakayunlu just to... Sorry, Karakayunlu. At Karakayunlu with these people. Happy to be driven into a fight with them. Just for the sake of these guys getting some of their land back. Not to be harsh, but that's not where I'm going with this. Okay, a new idea. Yes, we're actually not going to go for that. It would allow us to keep mercenaries for less cost. What else have we got? Less interest, it doesn't really matter, we haven't got any loans. More mercenaries available. Administrative efficiency, that gives us more people to choose from when we're selecting an advisor. And civil service, now that is useful. That would be great. However, we really need to get another national idea if possible. So I'm not that keen to do it. The only thing that might cause me to start investing in this group again is the fact that we've got quite a tech penalty at the moment due to not having embraced the Renaissance yet. Unfortunately, which we still cannot do. It's present here in Elbasan, which we took from Venice. It's present in Constantinople, which isn't what it's called anymore, but sorry, force of habit. It's not present anywhere else, but it is getting there. So I'm hoping before too long we'll start getting a price for this. Oh, and it'll just be a question of getting sufficient money. Anyway, and a diplomat back. Is there anything else we can do here? Not a lot, I have to say. Right, so we've got improved relations 32. That means we will improve by another 68. Which would take them to 185, which is just shy of what we need. However, our aggressive expansion may also be going down, despite the attack on Imereti. We'll see. I think on the whole, we don't need to worry too much. Basically, if we get to the point where we've improved our relations as much as we can and we're still unable to annex them, not annex them, to vassalize them, which is here, we will just give them a gift. Send a gift. I'm assuming that will be more efficient. Oh, maybe not. We don't have to give them much, do we? Oh, what the heck, I'll subsidise them. It's fine. It should finish before the improved relations finishes. That should do the trick. Right, spy network, 12.94. So let's just speed up a bit again. Still expecting a rebellion any second, although that did disappear. That could lose separatists. Okay, we should be more or less ready for them. Would be nice to know where they're going to appear, to be fair. Civil War. That doesn't sound good. I might just check if it will tell us. Okay, that kind of separatists. Probably Malatya, possibly Dvergi. Malatya and Dvergi. Okay. Do any of these provinces have a 25 supply limit? None of them do. Closest is Bozok. We don't have a very easy way to get to them is the problem. Annoying. There are ways to increase that, but on the whole, in the interest of keeping things simple, I think I'll leave that for now. It'll be fine, we'll get to it. They'll probably take the province, increase separatism. It'll be a pain, but we'll manage. Military access from France, no problem. No idea why France needs military access all the way over here. But I don't generally have an issue with that, and I think they have to pay us some money, so all good, all goes in the coffers. Okay. Go, we fabricate a claim on Abkhazia. That is enough to justify war. I no longer need no, whatever. Okay, let's send out our amazing navy. Now, in theory, I should probably ask for military access. That will mean that we're paying some money this time. But at the same time, it makes sense. Right, so in this case, I should probably get as close as I can to this uprising. Are you serious? Wonderful. Yeah, just, you know, we've just started a war, just die. Why not? Just die on me. Thanks a lot. I suppose, to be fair, the general probably didn't choose to die, but still a little annoying. Right, so let's go there. Let's go to Bolu, sorry. So he's closer, and it's still not too far from Constantinople. Okay, now this is interesting. Fate of the Crimean Khanate. Now this, I believe, is the event that can give you Crimea as a vassal. It's debatable how useful this is this time. Right, so we gain... Oh, we do get a bunch of claims though. However, we can also improve everyone's opinions of us. No, let's have the claims. So we can actually attack Crimea in order to vassalize them, which is interesting. Kazan, Avaria and Uzbek. Kazan, Avaria and Uzbek. That's how big are those nations? Sorry, literally just sort of thinking for a second then. This has thrown me a little. Alright, Kazan, Avaria and Uzbek. Right, there's Kazan. That is pretty big. Azaria. Uzbeks over here, also pretty big. I have a feeling I'm not going to be declaring this war. I mean, to be fair, in theory these guys are going to start falling behind technologically, but in practice we haven't embraced the Renaissance yet, so it probably hasn't happened. So, Zaria. Zaria I'm not that familiar with. Okay, so one thing you can do, which is quite useful when you get a country you don't recognise, is if you press the F key, you get a little find option, and you can just type it in. Azaria. And if it matches, it should appear at the bottom. If it doesn't, it's worth turning this off. I'm guessing it was Avaria. And apparently, oh, they're there. Okay, quite tiny then. They're not a concern. But honestly, I think vassalising Crimea, I mean, great, but I don't think it's really worth having a war with Kazan and Uzbek at the moment. We could probably do it, maybe I'm being a little cowardly. But in some ways, like, they're small enough that I could just vassalise them anyway, I think. Just by being friends. And I'm also interested in the new claims I've got. Yes, I had a feeling Genoa was going to be a problem. Okay, so Genoa has territories over here, but in theory their main area is over here, so they're firmly part of Europe. They've got all the technological advantages, and they also have allies who are extremely dangerous. I'm looking at France primarily, but also they're, oh yes, at the moment they're also part of the Holy Roman Empire. So yeah, won't be attacking them whether I have a claim or not. Theodoro might be an option, and I may now have some claims on Circassia. And at least then I would only be fighting Nogai and Chagatai, which I think is... oh no, I don't have claims. Oh, very disappointing. Never mind. Fine. I clearly need to pay a bit more attention. Right, anyway, so is there any way we can get this closer? This is marginally closer, which is good. To this rebellion, I'm expecting at any second. I might basically have to do what you do tend to have to do later on, which is split the army. Just so I can have them nearby, and we'll just converge on the rebels, which will be fine. Okay, we have room to build things, but we're not going to make use of it right now. We've got a siege going on, so at least it's a start. Ramazan is very kindly fighting Imereti for me. Unfortunately they're losing, but I appreciate the effort, guys. Alright, we should be able to safely split these people. So if I send you down to Marash, you can go to Sivas. I'm assuming the rebellion's still going to arise in just those two provinces. So yeah, should be fine. Might be able to use one of these armies to put down the Imereti army as well, which would be nice. In fact, I might just start working on that. Let's increase the speed a little. I think they just saw me coming. It would appear they are not keen. Well, I don't blame them in the slightest, to be fair. My army's 3 times the size of them, even split, so I don't really expect them to want to stick around for a battle. I'll do exactly the same thing. Feel slightly sorry for them. Never mind. Oh! I I stand corrected. Apparently we're going to head off to the north. Or not. Head off to the south. If a little padlock appears there, guys, you're in trouble. And it has. No, not quite. It looks like they're moving fast enough that I'm not going to be able to catch them. There's no little crossed sword symbol appeared. So, I don't think... Yeah, they'll be there on the 22nd and we'll be here on the 26th. Not ideal. Fair enough, we'll head back there, so we're ready for the rebellion. And I shall speed the time up a little bit more. I'm hoping we should be able to annex them just on the strength of winning the siege. And of course we should win this naval battle, I think. They have 2 light ships, 5 galleys and 4 transport ships. We, on the other hand, have got 16 galleys. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Right, we can invest in a new technology. The question is, do we want to? We're probably not, to be fair, close enough to embracing the Renaissance to make it worth not doing at the moment. So yeah, increase our naval technology. At some point that's going to mean our boats become obsolete, and I don't think just yet. Okay, waiting game for the siege and for rebels. Might even speed up a little more. In fact, let's go all the way and I'll just knock it down as soon as anything happens. Diplomat from Venice, not a big deal. And there we go. Ottoman particularists. Okay, I did not see that one coming. Okay, so I'm going to send in my army, even though they're currently outnumbered, because we have reinforcements coming. And we've also now got workshops, which is great. We do need to build workshops, but for now I'd rather concentrate on embracing the Renaissance. Ooh. Paper over parchment. Makes sense to me. Price of paper changes. More useful if you're a trading nation. Which of course we are, but it's not our primary concern. We're mostly conquering. Now this is always fun. Right, I'm going to put a positive spin on things for now. I hate these. You have claims on countries, and it's all bad, basically. You can renounce a claim which we don't want to, so on bit list down here, we can lose some diplomatic power, or we can have our ally hate us. I'm going to go with diplomatic power as the lesser of 3 evils at the moment. But that can be a nightmare for some countries. It's not so bad for the Ottomans, because we probably will attack them. Incidentally, thank you for taking your sweet time getting there. Now my army is severely damaged. Never mind. In fact, so severely damaged I could probably actually put you both on Sivas now. I probably don't need you to be split anymore for the time being. Which probably makes sense. Okay, how's the siege going? 40% chance of them surrendering. So it comes at the end of the month, start of the next month. I didn't actually see what happened, didn't seem to change anything. We've lost a great advisor. Okay, so assuming I still want a level 1 advisor, I'm going to go for reduced national unrest. The most useful of those 3. I can't honestly say I think any of them are that useful, but I don't particularly mind having less unrest because we do have a lot of that. Selling off titles to nobility. Okay. Well, at this point, I'm going to see this as a straight check of loyalty values. So the nobility currently have a loyalty of 50. The Merchants Guild currently have a loyalty of 45.5. So I'd rather lose loyalty from you, Mera. Sorry, guys. I believe very effectively the nobles. Right, okay. We've got separatists again. That's fine. You guys can head down there. I'm going to start the clock again, but only at 1. So I do want to double check my estates. So they were low because we'd asked for a contribution, and unfortunately we can't just ask for another one. Nor can we draft ships of war because they don't have sufficient influence. Fair enough. Not a problem. Not a problem. There isn't a lot that we need them for, really. Let's just hopefully put this rebellion down without any issues. And then we'll probably take this army back to Constantinople. Assuming we don't have any other uprisings. Oh, hang on a sec. Completely forgot we still had the Imereti knocking around. Half inclined to head into Karakoyunlu's lands and actually try and chase these guys down. Let's not bother. Let's head back to Trabzon and just wait for them to reappear. We should have this country fairly shortly. I don't actually see anything there to tell me what... Oh, defenders desert. That's what we want. Doesn't appear to have changed our chances any though. This is exactly the same thing we had before. 10 towards legalism. I am not having you beating people up over their religion. And we've got it. So this is the alert that says we can embrace an institution. We've obviously got it in a few more provinces since I last looked, so let's embrace it. There's an argument that says we shouldn't bother doing it until we are close to gaining a new technology slot, because that's the main thing it does. I think it does reduce construction costs, to be fair. Gems. Ooh. Gem cutting masters in Constantinople. I like that. I definitely like that. Okay. You gentlemen are now in my lands. Means I'm probably going to chase you down. Okay, I wonder if Hungary has been personally unioned by Austria. So we've taken the land, we've got a naval battle going, we've got a land battle about to go. I suppose, to be fair, we may as well just finish them off. Whoa! Okay. I don't know how you managed that one. Normally when the crossed swords appear, it means you can't escape. It is clearly possible. Never mind. Right. Let's take this right back down. We have a little skull here because Marash does not have sufficient supply. You guys can go back to Constantinople. We've got another new warning. Costly trade embargoes. Ah yeah, because Hungary is no longer our rival. But before we do anything else, I'm going to suggest demands. We want their full annexation. So they now belong to us. To send my navy back. Start coring the province, which will cost us yet more administrative power. Right, now normally I wouldn't keep a request for access going. I wonder if it might be worth it in this case. Maybe not. Maybe I can, because they are my ally, I can probably ask them for military access as and when needed. So I'll just get my army out of there. It's going to be a pain. I'm almost looking forward to attacking them, but it does mean we've made our first step towards the northeast. Taking our first bit of Orthodox land. Right, so Hungary. I don't actually see anything that says that they've been taken over. But we're being asked to pick a new rival. So we've got Venice and the Mamluks. And our options do not include Hungary. Okay, now given the options, England's quite a long way away, but also quite dangerous. Poland is going to be our major problem in the north. If there's any possibility we can avoid being an enemy of Poland, that would be great. It would certainly make my life easier. So I'm going to go for Austria, because although they're the emperor, they're not actually that big. They may, of course, end up having a personal union over Hungary anyway. So we need to revoke our embargo on Hungary. So if you have an embargo on someone who isn't a rival, it costs you. However, we can now issue another embargo on Austria. So if I go to the trade window, which we haven't really looked at much, it does say we have 3 embargoes, which is what we should have because we have 3 rivals. So brilliant. Okay, uncontested claims that will expire. Apparently all of our claims are going to expire, which is unfortunate. We could look at attacking Theodora. We have a claim on them. Their only ally is Wallachia. The only thing is, if we're going to end up fighting Wallachia, as we did last time, I'd like to have a claim on one of the provinces, because we are ultimately going to want their lands. And I don't believe we currently have a claim. So I might attack Theodora. I'll revoke military access here. Cancel military access. Sorry, we revoke if we allow it. And how are we doing for money? We're actually gaining money. Okay, I'm not going to worry about mothballing the forts then. We might even be able to consider getting a better advisor. We certainly start building some workshops, which will come in useful later. And for the final coup de grace, are we anywhere near to being able to vassalize? Apparently not, which is very disappointing. But I suppose not as much time has passed as I'm thinking. Right, so we've gained something from subsidies. We might want to start improving relations again. We no longer have any issues with aggressive expansion. And the other country we're going to vassalize... Ooh! We actually can vassalize. Wonderful. So we now have 2 vassals. We've completed the mission Acquire Subjects. Our next mission requires us to have 30 galleys, which we will be able to work on once our money's recovered from embracing the Renaissance. So we literally now just need to work on Cyprus. So let's proclaim a guarantee. We've already given them military access. We can probably start improving relations again. In fact, forget it. How much of a gift can we afford to give them? Yes, the Mamluks are terrible. Right, that improves by 19, that improves by 25. That's the maximum we can do. So we'll improve by 25. If we start improving relations as well, that should mean that we get them in pretty short order. Once we've got them, we can start vassalizing Ramazan. Not vassalizing, annexing Ramazan. Do we have an option for... Oh no. I'm just thinking we can't have a royal marriage with a Roman Catholic country. It's just not going to work. Okay. So if we just put the speed up. Wallachia making claims. Truce with Theodora is over. The knights have been trying to build a spy network, and we are now able to offer vassalization, which is brilliant. So turn to Ramazan, and once again we need an opinion of 190. Wonderful. Right, well, we will start on that. Actually, are we... we're going to be able to get that just from improving relations. Possibly we are, actually. So if I just set them off improving relations. So I think that's probably it for this week. It wasn't too dramatic, but we did at least take Imereti, and we now have 3 vassals. There is actually a screen for them, for subjects. So you can see this is very important, what they call the liberty desire. You want that as low as possible, although it's not a problem unless it gets maybe above 50. You start getting a little worried, but as it is, everyone's perfectly happy to be our vassals because we vassalise them peacefully. Diplomacy is war by other means. So, however, our right click here, you can see we've still got one too many diplomatic relations. If we can annex Ramazan, that will no longer count as the diplomatic relation, so we will be back down to 4 and gaining our full amount of diplomacy points. I'm not too worried about diplomacy points. I might be willing to have more vassals than we're allowed, but at the same time it is probably about time we annex them. We don't want to keep them forever. They're blocking us from the Mamluks, who we really need to start attacking, although we might finish off Akionlu first. But it looks like we might be going for Theodora and hopefully claiming another chunk of Wallachia while we're at it, if they're silly enough to try to defend them. But that is all going to have to wait for next week. But thank you for watching. Sorry it wasn't tremendously dramatic, but we are making progress, slowly but steadily. And yeah, see you next time.